What is going on, everybody? My name is Kneeckoh and welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Moveset Guide video. Today, we are going to be talking about a Pokemon that has been jumping up here and there recently in the meta, and one that I really didn't think I'd ever be making one of these guides about. That Pokemon is JUMPLUFF. JUMPLUFF has actually won a recent tournament, as well as just been popping up on random teams on the ladder, and has actually proven to be very, very good. I actually recently used it in a VGC Climb video myself and had a lot of fun with it. So I think it's a really solid Pokemon and definitely worth talking about in the current state of the Series 3 meta. So if this is your first time here on the channel, make sure you are subscribed for more videos like this in the future, and leave a comment below. What's your favorite off-meta Pokemon that you like rotating in right now? Back in Series 2, my favorite was Tinkaton. Tinkaton was just so fun to use, but I just don't see a huge place for it in the current meta. But I'm curious on your thoughts. Let's talk about JUMPLUFF. So JUMPLUFF is actually like super interesting just because of its actual kit. There are so many things that this Pokemon can do that make it incredibly strong. And I think it's actually really solid with the current state of the metagame, because right now I would argue that Sun is one of the better weather conditions that you could be running, mainly because of all the photosynthesis users currently in the format. So I definitely think that JUMPLUFF thrives in that because of its ability Chlorophyll. Because Chlorophyll is so prevalent on this Pokemon, using it on a sun-based team that's going to be boosting things like Fluttermane, Great Tusk, Roaring Moon, things like that is super beneficial for something that runs Chlorophyll and can boost itself. So for this reason, JUMPLUFF is now popping up quite a bit, and I have a couple different sets. These are just from teams that I have recently been using. This particular set comes from that previous VGC Climb video that I was talking about. That was a really fun team that utilized a weakness policy Roaring Moon. So there's a lot of different ways that you can actually use this particular Pokemon. So this one has the Focus Sash with the Ghost Terra typing, Chlorophyll obviously with Rage Powder, Absorb, Sleep Powder, and Protect. Now this one's not like a max set, because this one's actually being built to play in a Trick Room scenario. This team that I used this particular JUMPLUFF on was using Trick Room. So this particular Pokemon has a little bit more in like defenses, but honestly I think that a defensive JUMPLUFF set makes a lot of sense when you consider the fact that another prevalent Tailwind setter in the format, that being Talonflame, if you look at their stats, JUMPLUFF is actually a bit more defensive in terms of the special defense. Like, you have 75 HP, Talonflame has 78, JUMPLUFF has 70 defense, Talonflame has 71, and then special defense you have 95, where Talonflame only has 69. So it actually is a bit more defensive. There are a handful more weaknesses that you have to worry about with this particular Pokemon. Actually, they might even be about the same. I haven't run the actual numbers on that, but in terms of which is actually more defensive, JUMPLUFF kind of wins that battle. So it makes sense if you are trying to work it onto certain setups. So the moves on this set are Rage Powder, Absorb, Sleep Powder, and Protect. Now this is mainly there because you are running this with a weakness policy Ground Terra type Roaring Moon. So this was there to outspeed stuff, set up Roaring Moon, and just do big damage, because Roaring Moon could then not hit this with Earthquake because this is a flying type. This plays incredibly well. However, another set that you're seeing more frequently, and this is like a very specific set, the set you're seeing more frequently is something like this, where it's Leaf Storm, Encore, Tailwind, and Sleep Powder. Now, this is really prevalent because you can drop a Torkoal out, use an eject pack or whatever the case may be to get Torkoal out, and then you're able to Leaf Storm stuff, you're able to Tailwind and Sleep Powder, do all of that fun stuff that JUMPLUFF is able to do with the extra speed. And this would be, I don't even know the spread on this. This was one that Joe UX9 used and won a tournament with. So this is another really solid option. There is also Helping Hand as a potential move for this particular Pokemon, so that way you can do boost your teammates and do even more damage. There's a lot of fun things that can happen with this Pokemon right now that I think are definitely worth noting. Now, Pokemon that this is going to pair well with. We don't really have to talk about what this goes well into, because at the end of the day, you're really not going to be doing a ton of damage with this. I mean, there are things that obviously you can deal with Leaf Storm. If you can catch a Dondozo off guard, I've done decent damage to a Dondozo with this. Dondozo's one, any water type, really. So like Gastrodon occasionally is popping up. Gastrodon, you're going to do big damage to. What else? Dreadnought is occasionally popping up because of Surf. Dreadnought can actually do get rocked by a Leaf Storm because it's 4 times weak to grass. So handful of water type Pokemon. Obviously, you're not doing crazy amounts of damage with your 55 base special attack, but just something to note that you can put out some damage if necessary. But like I said, I don't think we really need to talk a bunch about what this plays well into, because it's more of a support Pokemon. It's going to sit there and boost your team. But teammates that are going to thrive with this, Torkoal is the big one. Obviously, we are talking about Sun here. Sun is very, very important. Torkoal is going to be your best friend with Jumpluff. It is absolutely going to be your best friend. So Torkoal is almost a must, unless you're running like a Murkrow, but at that point, why are you running 2 Tailwind setters? So Torkoal is the big one. Now, I do think that Trick Room does play a nice component into a team like this, because honestly, with Torkoal being on a team, Torkoal is just very slow in general. Being able to set Trick Room and allow Torkoal to do Torkoal things like Eruption and just do big damage in the sun, that is very beneficial. So I think Trick Room setters, I think Farigiraf, there's a case to be made here for that. Farigiraf could be really cool. The team I was running, let me just pull up the team itself. The team I was using had a power anklet, just super defensive Flutter Mane, which was really cool, that set Trick Room. So Trick Room is definitely something that can be a huge bonus for a Jumpluff team. And then honestly, at the end of the day, other teammates that are going to be really good are just going to be stuff that benefit from the Tailwind. So right now, a huge Pokemon that's benefiting a lot from Tailwind settings are going to be things like Great Tusk. Great Tusk loves Tailwind right now. It is basically the only team archetype you're seeing a lot of Great Tusk on. Because this Pokemon just doesn't have the best speed tier in general. So being able to use Tailwind and get this out on the field and start doing a lot of damage is really important. So definitely think Great Tusk is one of the best partners. Obviously, something like Flutter Mane is going to be incredibly solid on this particular setup. Flutter Mane is just crazy good under Tailwind. Right now, a lot of Flutter Manes are actually building more defensively to be able to take hits from things like Chen-Pao and things of that nature. So because of this, they have to sacrifice the speed that we were seeing a lot of in Series 2. Now, because of this, having access to something like Tailwind that is going to make you faster than the opposition is very beneficial for a bulky Flutter Mane. So definitely something to consider in that regard. And honestly, other Earthquakers are going to be your big friends here. Other Earthquakers like Garchomp right now is very popular in the format. Garchomp makes a lot of sense because, again, it plays a similar role to what like the Terra Ground Roaring Moon was using in the team that I mentioned before, or Great Tusk would utilize. Because this is part flying type, you're not going to hit it with Earthquake, so being able to set the Tailwind and then do big damage with Garchomp is really nice. So I definitely think that a Earthquake setter in general next to a Jumpluff is very beneficial, especially when you consider the fact, in terms of Earthquake setters, how many Pokemon are weak to ground type moves right now. It's very beneficial to have some form of ground type damage on a team. So like, especially with like Arcanines running around, if you think about like running a Garchomp with Clear Amulet and being able to just spam Earthquakes, that is a very powerful combination. So I definitely think that Garchomp can be a huge benefit, or like I said, any Earthquake setter can be really good because it's so prevalent in the format right now. Now, Pokemon you need to be worried about. You need to be worried about a handful of different Pokemon here. A big one is Dragonite. Dragonite is a very big problem for this particular Pokemon, just because, you know, a lot of them are running the Flying Terra Blast that is just going to rock you into next year. Think of this Pokemon like Talonflame. It's not there to be there long, right? They may decide to ignore it, which can hurt them more in the long run, but if they do target it and prioritize it, it's not going to be on the field very long at all. Baxcalibur is one that's here and is going to do a lot of damage to this Pokemon. Baxcalibur, Chen-Pao is going to be a problem. Tyranitar can actually be an issue. Tyranitar could be an issue. It's going to break your sash. It can hit you with rock slides. So Tyranitar could definitely be a problem, especially because Tyranitar is also running Terra Flying right now. It can be a potential problem that's popping up for Jumpluff. Obviously, a big one, Arcanine. You always have to be worried about Arcanine. It's our main fire intimidator right now. Definitely can be problematic for Jumpluff. So there's a handful of things that are going to be an issue for Jumpluff right now in the format. There's just a bunch. There's no way around it. There are just a big group of Pokemon that are just going to do a significant amount of damage to this. However, because of its speed, that is what gives this the advantage. Its speed is so fast with the sun up, you're able to do so much work with this particular Pokemon that there are a lot of scenarios where Jumpluff just can survive regardless because of its speed tier, this, that, or the other. So I definitely think that because of this, Jumpluff is now seeing a no pun intended, a jump in use, and is making it such a fun Pokemon to throw on a team in the current format. I personally have been enjoying all the teams that I've been messing around with that have included Jumpluff. I just think it's a really fun Pokemon to add because it's not something that you see all the time. But that is really going to be it for this video, guys. I don't know how long it is. I feel like this is a shorter one, but if at any point you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Be sure to check out the Discord where people over there hanging out playing Pokemon all the time. And if you want to see more from me, check out this video where I use a Jumpluff team. It is so fun. Highly recommend you try the team out. Genuinely, it was a blast to play this team. Also check out this video where I use my Bax Balance team on the ladder. I love Bax Balance. It's something that's just very fun to play, very consistent. Check that out. And also check out this video where I talk about why Baxcalibur is so good in Series 3. But until next time, peace.